Muffin is a tabby, Buddy is a retriever, and Kirby is, well...
Nowadays, Kirby follows a pretty standard formula. Athena can solo the MCU shows up, Kirby says, and life goes on in Popstar. However, there was one villain that managed to come back from not one, but 2 beatdowns before being taken out for good. It introduced DDD getting possessed every 15 seconds. This was the Dark Matter trilogy. And how it would have been so much better without these stupid... Released in 1995, back on the Game Boy, and actually including copy abilities, this game was... okay at best. Okay, hear me out on this one. I think by now we know the Kirby formula. Suck and spit, or swallow, your way to victory while listening to good music. But at this point in the franchise, it was falling very behind its other Nintendo brothers. To be fair, it doesn't help that the franchise started on the Game Boy after the Super Nintendo happened, but by the time Dreamland 2 came out, Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, and Metroid had already transitioned to the SNES. Oh, but don't worry, Kirby had a presence on the SNES too.
And he dumped all these little blobs on me, and the only way that I could survive was if I buried my buddy in boulders.
Also golf. So yeah, Dreamland 2 was long overdue and was coming out on 6-year-old hardware rather than the new tech that was already on its way out. The result? You could ride in a fish's mouth. In this game, you have animal friends that help you out. Rick the hamster, Kind the fish, and Coo the owl. Also this one. So on one end, this is kind of a cool thing, and on the other... Look, I don't want to be the one to complain about this. Every ability you had now has an animal-specific version. That's really cool, but... were these 2 years of development really worth the fish-type gameplay? To be fair though, this is still a lot better than the other new thing they added. Rainbow drops. Alright, so here's how this works. Basically, there's one in each world, and they're required for you to get the true ending. More on that later. Now honestly, that's kind of a cool idea for replayability. What sucks ass is they require a partner and ability combo to get them, and you have no idea of knowing what it is until you get there. On top of that, it's still super easy to lose your dumbass ability, and if you do so before you get to the thing, too bad, try again. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Chris, come on, this can't be as bad as you're making it out to be. Well, this is where we start talking about Rainbow Drop 6. First things first, you have to get Kind of fish and move him through a stage with no water, use these windpipes to get high enough to fall into this floating pool with a door, swim through a current to fight a jellyfish, get back to the floating pool with a door, but be careful not to lose your ability or you have to do all this again, swim to the right avoiding these spiky dickheads, rescue Rick from this sentient block, rescue Coo from these stationary cannons that aren't even attacking him, fly through hurricane winds and more of these spiky battle a ninja by farting electricity on him, accidentally run into it and lose the power up, meaning you have to do all this again, do it right this time and fly through the spike-filled hurricane again. Are we done yet? And finally use your cutter ability to get the rainbow drop. Alternatively, you could just not do that, get the bad ending, and watch the good ending on YouTube. Cause I'm just throwing it out there, this final boss is not worth it. It's not a bad game otherwise though. The best way I can describe Dreamland 2 is your typical Kirby adventure but with animal friends and the most annoying collectible to ever exist in the history of history. Dreamland 3 is basically that except double the animal friends, much better collectibles, and gooey. But more importantly, it actually runs on the SNES, which already would have been replaced by the N64 by now, but besides that, it looks great! Stylized graphics are always going to last, and my god, this game looks so cute! Except for the final boss, which you get by collecting heart stars. They basically serve as a replacement for rainbow drops. Main difference being there's one in every level and there's a lot more variety here. Sometimes you're watering plants, sometimes you're getting Rick a girlfriend. Samus shows up and throws a power bomb with the Kirby is 8 inches tall argument, then you do a game show. Why? That's why. You never know what you're gonna get. That's what's so fun about it. The fact that you unlock a horrific bleeding eyeball as a final boss because of them is a fun bonus too. This is hands down the best OG Dreamland game. So why is it so forgotten? Well, it might have to do with the fact that one of the best Kirby games ever made came out a year before this one, included 8 games, had abilities with multiple moves, and added what the Kirby subreddit considered to be the best copy abilities of all time over the obvious best choice. But you know, it's a matter of perspective.